Hey guys, Samurott here, and it's my birthday. Yes, when this video is uploaded, it will be July 23rd, aka my birthday. And for my birthday video this year, I'm doing What If Ash Caught Hisuian Samurott. This has been my most anticipated What If of this year. I was waiting to my birthday to do it as it would be the anniversary of the original What If Ash Caught Samurott. However, that video uploaded a week after my birthday, and this is the week of my birthday, so it's still within the year time frame. Now, similar to the Typhlosion video, this will take place in between major sagas of the anime, being in between the XY saga and Sun and Moon saga of the anime respectively. However, I'll touch upon some moments that change in Best Wishes to better support the story that I'm trying to tell. So let's start What If Ash Caught Hisuian Samurott. So we'll pick up this story right in the middle of Best Wishes. This is when we're gonna have Oshawott evolve into at least a Duat for this one, since we still need him to gain some sort of experience to evolve into Duat so we can get Samurott. He's gonna evolve during the Clay battle. He'll be the one to win it instead of Rock and Roll, and we'll just switch their spots. There'll be one major change: Oshawott's personality. Oshawott's personality is a bit less noble than it was in canon. It's a lot more like a dark type in the way that it takes cheap shots and won't stop until it wins. Very similar to Greninja, but taking it to a way darker light, to the point where it's not very similar to the Oshawott we know in canon. It still has some of the same personality, but it definitely has this dark edge to it. Same goes for Duat. It's a lot more darker but shows a lot more potential. In fact, during the Project Tempest showdown, Cynthia sees a lot of potential in its battle style and tells Ash to foster it well, that it will grow strong and might actually be stronger than her Garchomp in the near future. The rest of the Best Wishes saga stays the same with no real major changes. We're gonna skip the XY portion of the anime. It's not at all relevant to this What If, but it still does happen, just so before anyone asks any questions about it. Now we get to when Ash comes home from Kalos. When Ash comes home from Kalos, he naturally wants to introduce all his new Kalos Pokemon to his Pokemon at home. It's similar to that moment in AG where Ash introduced his Hoenn team to his Pokemon. Ash would most likely go on excursions, just to train his Pokemon. One of these excursions being to train Duat and his swordsmanship abilities. He goes to the woods with Sceptile and Duat to train their swordsmanship abilities, and while he notices this, they fight very differently. While Sceptile fights the typical way a Pokemon would fight, not taking any cheap shots, Oshawott is the opposite. I said again, wanting to win at all costs. This is a post-X and Y Ash, so he knows that winning isn't everything, and that's what he talks to Duat about. However, Duat doesn't listen. It doesn't really care. It only wants to grow stronger and only wants to win. Duat goes more into its darkness. However, on a trip to Sinnoh with Duat, something happens. 3 of the elite Team Rocket members that we saw as the leaders of Team Neo Rocket in the Heart Gold and Soul Silver games attack the city. This is in an effort to steal more Pokemon and cause a general disruption so they can lure out the Swords of Justice, who were recently found to be in Sinnoh. The Swords of Justice in this case being Cobalion, Verizon, and Terrakion. No Keldeo at this time though. So while this whole ruckus is happening, Ash would most likely try to stop them as he would normally. This would also include the Elite Four member's younger sibling being Buck. Buck is a stat trainer from the 4th generation. Basically, all you need to know is that he's Flint's younger brother, and that's pretty much all that really adds to the situation. Buck uses his Torkoal and Ash uses his Duat in double battles, but however, Torkoal's slow stature does not mix well with Duat's speedy battle style, so Duat often than not manages to knock out Torkoal and just does the whole thing himself. Buck and Ash are clearly worried for Duat's mental state and don't like the path that is going on. It's very destructive, it doesn't even like listening to Ash anymore, and it dismisses Pikachu off very easily. Keep in mind, Duat's strength at this point is around the same strength as Sceptile, so he's as strong as one of Ash's ace Pokemon, so it's not easy to just take down with a single Thunderbolt. It can clearly tank some hits. But back to the story, they make it to the top of the building. They end up facing off against Lucin, who's here for some reason. Both Ash and Buck are confused as why would Lucin be working with Team Rocket? It doesn't make any sense. Until it's revealed that this was the Master in disguise, Petrol. Petrol sends out his 3 Pokemon, this being Garbodor, Muck, and Weezing. These are 3 high-level Pokemon, however, this is a Duat that's been through a lot and has trained through a lot, and Duat, getting mad that he would be fighting these weak Pokemon, at least in his eyes, starts to evolve out of pure rage and spite. It becomes Hisuian Samurott. Cynthia by this time makes her way onto the scene and sees this new Samurott, a Pokemon she hasn't really seen before. It's a twisted version of Samurott that looks a lot darker and edgier, non-ironically. Samurott uses the move Ceaseless Edge in this version of the story and just immediately decimates all of Petrol's Pokemon. The Swords of Justice never showed up as they sensed that there was no real danger, as Samurott pretty much solved the problem before it could even get started. This version of Samurott wanting a true challenge remembers Cynthia and kind of puts its sword towards Cynthia, showing that it wants to challenge her Garchomp. Cynthia, not fighting this version of Samurott ever before and actually wanted to challenge Ash's Oshawott as it believed it could have amazing potential and even grow stronger than her Garchomp, decides to take up on this challenge. About 2 days later, the challenge would officially start. Ash and Samurott clearly aren't listening to each other and don't have a bond at all. However, Samurott really wanted to be in this battle, and it's very in character for Ash to use Pokemon that are specific to what battles they want to fight rather than the battles he wants to fight, if that makes sense. So they head into the Lily of the Valley Stadium. We're going to be using this stadium as just for ease of access. They head into the Lily of the Valley Stadium, and the battle starts out. The battle starts out honestly pretty tight up to this point. Samurott isn't listening to Ash, but however, it's not being reckless with the way it's fighting. It clearly can fight well, it just chooses not to. It's taking a lot of cheap shots, but at the same time doing a lot of damage, being absolutely merciless with its attacks. Not giving Garchomp even an inch, however Garchomp's able to close the gap in attacks due to its bulky defense and expert attacking. It comes to one point in the battle where Samurott is losing incredibly, and this is where the win-win-win mentality comes in its head. It wants to win no matter what it has to do. It ends up taking a super effective blow into the wall. However, Ash jumps behind it and takes the fall for it. Samurott, clearly conflicted by this show of affection that Ash showed for it, decides to actually finally listen to Ash. It still has that win-win mentality, but it respects Ash as a trainer. So now they actually start to close the gap, and Samurott, realizing that the way to win might be trusting Ash more, so it starts to put its full trust in Ash in order to help it win. So they continually using the move Ceaseless Edge, Razor Shell, and they even learn a new move, They learn the move Psycho Cut, this move being super effective with a high critical hit ratio. This wins Ash the battle, and he actually beats Cynthia. Again, Cynthia wasn't going at full power in this version of the story, and she isn't as strong as she was in the Master's 8. However, that ends What If Ash Cut Hisuian Samurott. I had a lot of fun writing this video. It's actually a different draft from the one I originally recorded, but I hope you guys enjoyed nonetheless, and thanks for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. Samurai out.